Hello and welcome to the show. If you are out there watching on Rumble, watching on X, watching on Kick, or any other platform for that matter that we are on, please come across to warrenthornton.com. This is a place where we can show you the videos in the second hour, sometimes even a third, where we can't show you on mainstream media because we get told off. So we'll be doing that after the first hour of the show. The first hour is free. After that, behind a paywall. It's the price of a cup of coffee for a whole month of shows. You get 6 shows a week. You get at least 2 hours new show every single night. You also get, shall we say, a subscriber show where you can come and join the ever-growing family that has a chat at 7:30 in the mornings. And of course, there are other articles and also other shows that we appear on that platform. So it is good value for money. I am joined, as always, from Brooker TV, my, shall we say, co-conspirator, Paul Brooker, looking absolutely dashing. Good evening, Paul. How are we?
Hello, Warren. Hello, everybody. I'm doing pretty well. I'm just taking in the news of the weekend almost because
Yes.
we got some really strange things going on. We really have. And just when you think things are calming down, they've heated up again and round we go.
Well, we've got some incredibly diverse things for you tonight. We're going to start with Paul Brookers in a minute, but just to let you know what we have coming up for you, we have the video of China actually producing 100 missiles a day. We've got that direct from our people. We've got the desertions that are going on. We've got gay Germans. We have the murder of Alexander Tahiki. We've got the Colombians. We've got France collapsing. We've got Besant, we've got Birmingham Bins, we've got Blood Moons, we've got the Coalition of the Clueless, we have Kaya Kallis, we have Ketamine, Kim Jong-un, Kupiansk, we've got Nepal, Sweden, and of course the real cost to soldiers, and we've also got the horrible events surrounding the Ukrainian female refugee, and of course we will also be looking a little bit at Epstein. So we've got an absolutely full to the bucket show for you tonight, which is obviously going to go on for a lot longer. But if you want to see the full show, warrenthornton.com. Paul Brooker has got tons of stories for us to start with. That is on top of what we've got. Paul Brooker, what have we got?
Well, a subject or a person that started to take some serious interest from me is that Bob Joyce. But I'm just going to jump in here because he's spoken out and, well, it's filled me with intrigue.
He finally got caught. He got caught in a lie. Watch.
And I want to settle it. I want y'all to know that
Can you hear that?
No.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to skip that one because the volume just doesn't seem to be working
Okay,
properly.
so what's he been caught in a lie doing?
Well, basically, someone's asked him about Izzy Elvis, and he got angry, went on a rant, but did not say the words, "I am not Elvis."
Ah,
He did not say those words at all. And honestly, the more and more I think about this, because people can disappear as they want to, if they want to, sorry. Warren, we know this. We covered a story on Japan, didn't we? There's a whole
yes.
service for wiping you from the internet, everything, and giving you a new life. Well,
Yes. Yes.
what if celebrities can do it too? They've got definitely the means to do it. And I can imagine the limelight can affect people in the end.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know me. I'm an old cynic. I'm not so sure about Elvis, but certainly one or two. There's one or two, shall we say, rather naughty people that, of course, have disappeared completely. Lord Lucan would be one of them, and of course. There are others that have done that, people who are wishing to avoid. You can go, we know that you can go to Israel or Japan and you can get a totally and utterly new, you can get a new face, you can get a new identity and everything else. Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Sean Murphy wants to jump in. Sean?
Oh, I wonder if Desi Freeman's gone to Israel.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. If I was him, I would as well. One of those. He's still out loose in the outback, as far as we are aware. Paul.
Right, my next one. In the UK, we've got something called price matching, where the big supermarkets do these big advertising campaigns where they say we're cheaper than blah blah blah. Well, it
Yes.
turns out it's lies.
Tesco and Sainsbury's claim they match Aldi prices, but you're actually getting a worse product. BBC Panorama found that 38 out of 122 Tesco price-matched items had noticeably less of the main ingredient than Aldi alternatives. For example, Tesco chicken nuggets, 39% chicken versus Aldi's 60% chicken. Apple and blackcurrant cordial, 6% fruit concentrate versus Aldi's 20% fruit concentrate. Tesco cut 150 items from its Aldi price match list, down from 790 items to 645 after revamping their verification methods. Sainsbury's slashed its price match range from 681 to 606 items, meaning fewer bargains available. After only 12 months, Asda abandoned its Aldi and Lidl price match scheme and replaced it with its own rollback campaign. Don't trust the price match labels blindly, check the fine print. You might be paying for less value, not more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're 100% on that. And I think the thing that really is troubling on that, Paul, if you've ever been to Tesco's and seen everything that goes on there, there is a major, major problem, isn't there? Because for me, and I don't know about for you, but when you go to Tesco's or somewhere like that, if you've got a club card, they'll charge you less money. However, if you haven't got a club card, they'll put the price up through the roof from what you would normally expect to pay for it. I find that quite disingenuous and quite horrible.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Warren. We're seeing the exposure of this so-called price matching when actually Tesco's go to these suppliers or their own suppliers and go, look, somehow Audi's making it cheaper because they're sourcing it from elsewhere. We want to be able to beat them. We
Yeah,
need a cheap, nasty product because let's not forget, look at the rise of the pound shops where, yes, things were a pound, but you were getting like a third of what you should be buying, or they're different sizes, or now we find out that the actual quality of the product is lower.
yeah,
So it's all false economy stuff, and people need to educate themselves because they are losing out.
yeah, absolutely. We've got Mark Breckle and Sean Murphy. Want to have a quick word on this? Mark Breckle.
It's a massive rip-off. They'll put something on for like £3, then they'll reduce it to like £2. Then if they can't sell it, throw it in the bin instead of
Yeah,
just reducing it to like 50p. There's a lot of people on TikTok have been looking in the bins, and they're absolutely full of these food. You just throw it all in the bin. You will not charge less to get rid of it.
they
It's a
do.
massive con.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. And instead of giving it to the needy, like the homeless, they throw it in the bin and get rid of it and actually lock the bins so that they can't, homeless people can't get hold of it. Sean Murphy.
Yeah, pound shops. I remember some years ago, it wasn't me that was buying it. Somebody said, "Oh, I bought some coffee down in, like a standard Nescafe brands,
Yep.
granules, and it didn't even smell right when you opened the jar. It was though it had been sort of 5 years out of date, although the date on it said it was in date. So the quality, the for the for the jar of coffee that cost £1 in the pound shop instead of £3 or £4 at the time, uh,
Yeah.
it
Still
it
pretty
it
poor.
it. Well, it didn't taste anything like coffee. I reckon it was made with bloody acorns or something like that.
Okay.
But also that talking about the bins, we had an
Yes, very
Aldi
good.
in Charlton
We'll do
in
that in a
South
minute.
East London, and they
Yes.
used to do that, and they started locking the bins because the old Romanian gypsies used to turn up in the middle of the night and empty the bins out, and if the bread was
Okay.
only a day out of date, uh,
Yeah.
it was still good for another week.
Yeah. Thanks very much for that. Paul, we've got your next story, sir. You need to turn your mic on.
Yes, and we are staying on the UK. Now, I do apologise about my video's volumes. I don't know what's going on with my computer today. But if there's one that you can't hear, just let me know and we'll move on.
is drowning in debt. Borrowing in June has now soared to £20.7 billion. The government's now borrowing £28 million per hour. 16.4 billion in debt interest payments. £22.8 million of debt interest payments per hour. 86.86 billion in tax receipts in June. 2.9 billion in taxes received per day. 97.1 billion in government spending in June. 3.2 billion pounds being spent per day. Now at a 5-year high, the current government is actually borrowing than any other previous government in history. But they still want to spend £1 billion per month in universal credit claims for people that want to live in the UK from foreign countries. And they're still spending over £6 million per day to house asylum seekers that are crossing the channel. And they've still got money for people crossing the channel for PlayStation 5s, mobile phones, pocket money, priority healthcare, legal aid, free travel, free clothing, free driving lessons, free judo classes, free karate classes, free excursions, etc., etc. The list is fucking endless. All while Britain just fucking continues to drown in debt. Debt is nearly now at £3 trillion and it's growing every day.
Yeah, I do apologise for the language, but he's absolutely right. I mean, when we're sort of talking about this, I mean, we were very, very lucky in that we had a really good guy. Anybody who's been with the show a while would know of a gentleman called Kobiakov, who is, of course, one of the men who was absolutely responsible for setting up BRICS to do with the Russians and everything else. And, of course, he was warning about all sorts of things to do with debt and everything else and the way that it was being manipulated. It is increasingly likely that France and Britain and that France and the UK are going to request an EU first and IMF second bailouts in order to avoid bankruptcy as a cost of refinancing the debt, which of course is facing an economic crisis, which is morphing into a full-fledged depression if we don't get it sorted out fairly quickly. Mark Breckle.
Best packing your suitcase.
Yeah, one of those. Thank you very much for that. That was Mark's best idea on that, was packing a suitcase and moving elsewhere. Here's the thing, Paul Brooker. I mean, we're very, very lucky in that when QFS and all that stuff was being floated, we were managing to talk to the actual Russian guy who sorted out BRICS, which was amazing. And some of the stuff, and we'll have a bit more of him later on about what is happening with British debt and French debt and everything else. Nillis.
Well, I was listening about the American debt, and apparently America raises 5 trillion in taxes, and it spends 7 trillion in its budget. It has one of the largest military budgets. Its debt is £1 trillion a year to service that.
I think it's 37 trillion at the moment. So it is going to be a major problem. Thank you very much for that, Nillis. Sean Murphy.
Well, the problem with this debt.
Yes,
sorry. The problem with this debt is that the debt doesn't go away. All it does is it hides it for a year or 2 years, and it comes back. The country is even more in debt because these aren't interest-free loans.
No, it is one of those. You're absolutely right. Nillis wanted to come back in with a quick point, then I'm going to make a very quick one. Nillis, very quickly.
Well, I don't agree with it, but you can understand why Trump wants to make war with Venezuela, because he could do that oil as he couldn't break up.
Absolutely, yeah. Good point, well made. Let's get into this just a tiny bit then. Just remember that every single penny that you have is laden with debt. It is owed by somebody to somebody. Okay, and every single time that they print money, very, very simply, what happens as they print money, that money then, because there's more of it, then loses value. Okay. So that money then is not as valuable. You just look at the housing market. 5 years ago, a place that was worth £100,000 is now worth 300,000. That's not because suddenly they built 42 other stories on top of that. It's because your money is worth less than it was 5 years ago. Paul Brooker.
Right. Well, Banksy has been a busy boy. He has done a new mural that within a few hours of it being finished and the daylight hitting it, the police put up barriers all around it because I've got a feeling that it touched a nerve in the court system, because this is actually outside of court, and it's a judge with a gavel smacking a protester holding a sign, and there's blood splattered all over the sign just in case anyone can't see it. I don't know. That's very much the feeling of the UK at the moment, isn't it, Warren?
It is very much, and talk about not being able to read the room. Why would you suddenly put police barriers around somebody who's done this Banksy doing this work of art or whatever people might want to call it, this protest or whatever? But for the police to put barriers around it just proves Banksy's point, doesn't it?
100%, Warren. He is showing the justice system in this country is politically motivated. Politically motivated. Now, anyone out there who knows, Lady Justice is blindfolded whenever you see her holding her scales, and I've forgotten what the other thing she's holding. She is blindfolded because the law is not supposed to take opinions, political motivations into mind. So you are judged fairly. Yes, that's the wording. But in the UK, our justice system is corrupt to the core, to the absolute core.
Yes, I think when we sort of talk about this, and of course we're going to have lots and lots of opinions. Let's get the opinion of Mark Breckle first.
Yeah, sword, blindfold and scales. That's your lady of the justice. But the ironic thing is 13th and 14th, it's Tricolour Day in Russia, the same time as the Tommy Robinson. I'm going to see how many tricolour or flags get pulled down in Russia like they're doing in England.
Okay.
It wouldn't happen.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, so the scales are meant to, the balance between justice and fairness. That's what the scales are meant to represent. Paul Brooker.
Yep. Right. And obviously, what else is happening in the UK today? Oh, we got tube strikes. Now, I'm absolutely flabbergasted to find out how much money tube drivers are on.
Just in case anyone is under any doubt, these are the people that are on strike today. These are the people that are asking for more money. These are the people that if you struggle to get to work today, if you're going to struggle to get home from work today, these are the people that are on strike.
You just look here, the average salary for April 2024, over a year ago now, is £65,000. Probably gone up by then, with advanced operators earning over £75,000 annually. These are the people asking for more money, making people that are going to their minimum wage jobs struggle to get to work and probably pay extra to get to work today. The strike is about pay, but also conditions. The stress that early and late shifts are having on the health of its members. Oh, poor babies can't do a late shift or an early shift, and they want a 32-hour week. So if you look down here, I've done 32 hours times by 52 weeks. That's how many hours they'll be doing in a year. And then I've taken the average, been very nice, and taken the average from last year, divided it by how many hours I do. They want £39 an hour.
Okay. I've got a friend who is a tube driver. I'm going to push back on this a little. And the very simple fact is that he is very good at his job. The hours that they are being asked to do, most of them, of course, they're then given overtime with days off in lieu, and they never actually get those days off in lieu. Some of the things that you how can I put it, subjected to when you work for Transport for London or London Transport or whatever, can be quite harrowing. There is, I believe, 42% of tube drivers have actually run over a body or had somebody throw themselves in front of a tube train. Now, you would say that's a staggering thing. But if you work on the tube for long enough, and these people, they're given, and this is quite sickening, Paul, they're given a few days off to recover from this. But they still are expected to work to the end of their shift. Now, I'm not saying they don't get paid an exorbitant amount of money, but from what I know of the tube driver I know, he works damn hard for it. However, of course, you are talking about London money, and then you are talking 12-hour shifts as well. The 39-hour shift is the normal shift pattern, Paul, but of course you know these fluctuate and vary. I think the tube, to be fair to you though, I think the tube drivers back in the day when the tube was open 24/7 were much, shall we say, work much harder. So there are both sides of the coin there. SJ wants to have a talk on this. SJ.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to ditto what you said, because my best friend, she's a train driver instructor for Heathrow Express.
Yep.
Now, she told me when she went through her training, what they tell you to do if you see somebody on the track, the first thing you do is shut your blinds because of the
Yes.
mess. When you're not going to miss them, you can't stop the train.
Yes.
And you're going to, yeah. So to save your mental health, you shut your blinds.
Yes.
And that's telling in itself.
Yes, it is. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen it. I've been unlucky enough to be in the vicinity of somebody that's done that. And the driver, well, it's a bit, how can I put it? It's akin to shooting someone in a war. That's the best way to put it. But Paul is about to make a counterpoint here.
Oh, I'm going to make a very big counterpoint here. How much do soldiers get paid for what they go through? How much do firefighters get paid for what they go through? How much do police officers get paid for what they go through? And don't get me wrong, and this may be my total naivety. Am I right? All a tube driver has to do is hold the dead man switch on. That's their only job.
No,
I mean, what is it else that they have to do?
There's plenty of things to do with lights and everything else. There may be, of course, an incident or whatever, or you may have
seen
to
him break
hold
a
the
sweat.
Yeah, well, it's not one of those.
I'm sorry, but from my understanding, this isn't like the old days of shoveling coal and everything.
No.
They don't move. I mean, that video just there we've watched, the guy had his bloody phone on watching a TV show, having his lunch while he's driving. I'm sorry, but anyone who's got a real tough job does not get opportunities like that unless it's an actual break. And £65,000 a year. And I'm telling you now, I don't think I've ever seen a tube driver sweat, bleed, anything. And I get it. They see a dead person, but you could be involved in a car crash on the road and see a dead person. I've seen plenty of dead people in my time. And I'm sorry, but we all have to deal with that at some point in our lives. And all I can say is the soldiers don't get paid 65 grand a year. The firefighters don't get paid 65 grand a year. And the firefighters deal with far worse. Far worse. They deal with mangled everything.
And North Sea deep sea fishermen don't get anywhere near that amount of money. You're absolutely right. I think the best thing to do is if we get I will have a word with Tommy, and we'll see if we can get him on, and we'll batter him and see what he's got to say for him.
We'll give him mate on and we'll destroy him.
We will. So if anybody out there is watching and you are a London tube driver and you want to tell us everything, then come on the show, explain it, because all we ever hear is the people who complain about what you do, and that you do get extraordinarily well paid compared to most people. But then again, bankers probably get the same. So it is a sort of swings and roundabouts. But if you're a tube driver, if you're a train driver, come on the show, tell us about your grievances, because I know for a fact the amount of strikes really do affect people's lives, and that really, really hacks people off. It used to hack me off whenever there was a train strike down in Weston-super-Mare when I was trying to get somewhere. I'd find out there were no trains that day, and I had to go to the House of Commons. It's like, oh God! And then you've got to take National Express. which is a whole another experience. Mark Brecker and then Nillers.
Well, you justify this, Warren. £121 for myself, go from Polton-le-File to London. Open return, first class 416.
Yes.
I used to go across from Moscow to Kazan on the train, 14 hours, it cost me £12.
Mark, let me justify that for you then. That's what happens when you have privatisation. Okay?
And you wonder why people throw themselves on the tracks.
Yes. Well, that's probably because they're not earning 65 grand a year. Nillis.
Yeah, I feel sorry for the London bus drivers, like James Rossi,
God, yeah.
and bus drivers that work in because they don't get half the money that the tube drivers get.
Good point.
They're also in quite a lot of danger of being attacked.
They are, and they get dogs abuse. Yeah, absolutely right. Nillis, that is without doubt the single most brilliant point you have brought up since you've been a member of the show, and you're always bringing up good stuff, but that is spot on.
I'd just like to say as well.
Yep.
Honestly, I would love a tube driver to come on here, and I want to know why they justify their wages above a firefighter or a soldier. So please understand that will be a question I would ask.
Yes.
Because in my head, all I'm seeing is it's one of these industries. There's no competitors, so price gouging is going to be rife in it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will have a word with Tommy, but failing that, if I can't get him to come on, if there are any tube drivers out there who'd like to come on this show and talk about what they go through, or train drivers, we'd be more than happy to have you on. Paul Brooker.
Right. We're going to jump over to Nepal now because it is kicking off over there. Something chronic. Oh, wow. The government has blocked out all social media. They've turned the country into darkness for information. So all the youngsters, they've rioted.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a video on this as well, which shows just how bad it's got. Here we go. Have a look at this. raining down Millwall on a Saturday. Sean Murphy.
I can only assume that's Kathmandu, is it?
It is, yeah. Yeah. One
Yeah, the
of those.
police making a hasty retreat there.
Yes, yeah, one of those on the run, as they say.
Cop sandwich that was, wasn't it?
It absolutely was.
With a generous filling.
Yes. Well, I think a generous filled in would be if they could have got hold of them. Let's Nillis.
Well, it just shows how people are addicted to social media, because I don't think there was no European flags there, so I don't think it's been provoked by the Europeans. Yeah, the full suppliers of gherkins to the British, don't they? They're quite a pro-British government.
Yes.
I don't know why they're banned the social media. It's probably to try and keep their culture, I would have thought, because it's a Buddhist country. And
we're about to find out. Mark Breckle and then Lee Williams.
I was going to say those coppers were holding their own then, but it didn't last long, but it must be frightening with all them people looking at you. It's like, you know, watch your eyes, isn't it?
I mean, they're not mucking about. They don't. When they do riot in Nepal, I've got to say, they don't tend to mess about, so it can be quite hairy. Lee Williams.
Did they have enough police for them to? How many people was there?
I don't think so. As it's quite clear, the barriers were down in no time. So, Paul Brooker, what were they were rioting because all their social media was taken away. Why was it banned in the first place?
Well, Nepal's government have set up a new Ministry of Communication. They gave all the social media giants a week to register, which in the world of big corporations is not a lot of time. Most of them did register. Instagram and Facebook didn't. But from reading between the lines, this is about the start of censorship on social media platforms. And for everyone out there, you've just got to look at the world. All of a sudden, all the countries are taking a big look at social media. They are banning, censoring, controlling, you name it. And the only thing I can think of is too much truth is being exposed on it. Too much. And they don't like it. They cannot control the narrative. They cannot control what is going on in their own countries anymore.
And all I can say is for this platform, which thrives on bringing the truth and exposing what is going on out there. And of course, we do get censored for that. And the same, I think, with Paul as well. All I can say is to the youngsters, more power to your elbow, because the more free speech we have, the freer we become. It's always, I'm always reminded of that wonderful quote, Paul Brooker, when people turn around and say, when they turn around and said, only those who are truly enslaved think they're free. which is very much along those lines. So good luck to you, or the people of Nepal. Paul Brooker.
Right, next one. It turns out OnlyFans has a sinister angle which is being used.
Yes.
Can I clarify something for some of these girls? You realize a lot of them are getting paid to escort through their OnlyFans to be famous and also to wash the money.
What does that mean?
If you were to hire me, for instance, like if I was a hooker, you can be like, oh, I'm going to give you cash. And then the girl will be like, no. I want to make sure that my bank shows that I make money. Pay my OF, tip me $1,000. And then the government gets their percentage. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but absolutely.
Think about this. This can be done on an even greater scale. Imagine drugs.
Yeah, it is a place for literally for laundering. You take that girl in Dubai. That has now come out. Of course, she's not a lawyer. We knew full well that she wasn't. She studied, but of course, that's the sort of thing. Yes, Mum, I'm doing well. I'm getting a job in Hollywood. You know, and she's waiting tables or. Yeah. But here's a staggering fact. Females between the ages of 18 to 22 in the West, 24% of those females will have had an OnlyFans page. And I'm going to give you another staggering statistic. You're going to go, no, that's not possible. 52% of men who use OnlyFans are married. Okay, so it is more married men than it is single men. And here's the worst thing of all. 1 in 3 married American men have at some time or some stage paid money to an OnlyFans account. Paul Brooker.
Wow, there's some quite staggering statistics there.
Yes.
I think OnlyFans has legitimized a whole dark underbelly of the world.
Yes.
Because
the oldest profession.
Yeah, because now you can launder money and say, well, it was just someone tipping me.
Yes.
I mean,
exactly that.
I dread to think what is now feasible to be pushed through OnlyFans.
Yes.
Like every underhanded thing can go through there, and you just call it a tip.
Yes,
I
and
mean,
of course, OnlyFans get their cut, and they are complicit. And I'm calling out OnlyFans here. You are complicit in laundering money for prostitutes and for people who do drugs, because, of course, people who run drugs also generally, you will find, and of course, there isn't a great study on this, but there is some study because not many drug dealers turn around and go, oh, yes, I run prostitutes as well. But it is known that people who literally run prostitution also run drugs, and in many, many cases, this happens to be. Of the 48,266 people that are in jail for drug running, okay, 48,000 in America for drug running, 47% of them also ran a service, shall we say, which concerned women.
do you know what I've realised now? It's okay as long as they control it.
Yes.
That's my understanding. Right. My next one. So the Online Safety Bill has been, Safety Act, I should say, has been running for a little while now in the UK. But guess what? There's exemptions.
Keir Starmer has faced heavy criticism after it was revealed that the Online Safety Act ID verification system does not apply to the IP addresses in the Houses of Parliament, allowing MPs to log on and view adult and other restricted content without uploading their face or ID. Apparently this is to safeguard MPs from vicious foreign actors who could hack one of the third-party verification systems being used and release all of their private information. In a press statement, Keir Starmer said that the restrictions are not placed on the Houses of Parliament due to it being necessary for their work that MPs be allowed to access sensitive and adult content at a moment's notice, especially if they're really stressed. The Online Safety Act came into effect earlier this year and has since seen large amounts of backlash from the general public, with hundreds of thousands of people signing petitions, protesting in the street and taking vows of celibacy until the laws are repealed. A tech specialist who helped implement the exemption for the House of Parliament said that he was told they absolutely need a way for MPs to access adult content without having to show ID, because over 200 MPs had complained to Labour and Keir Starmer that if they had to do that, they wouldn't support the Online Safety Act bill. Further reports seem to corroborate this story, as the amount of toilet paper that's been ordered to the Palace of Westminster in the last month has increased 400%.
Yeah, one of those. Very, very good and very witty, but there is a serious dark side to this. If there are over 200 MPs then that have actually done this, then Keir Starmer needs to come out and name them, and we need to have a laptop check of all the stuff and the content that they access. For the rest of the country to have to go to an online safety to actually produce their ID, this is nonsense to protect them. What are we going to do? Blame the Russians because an MP wants to watch porn? Really? Are we going to do that? Are we going to blame the Chinese because some guy wants to look at online stuff that he's going to end up in front of a judge? Honestly, are we really saying that's okay for our MPs? It is not. The law is for everyone, not for you to circumnavigate. And the Online Safety Bill either needs to be scrapped because it mentions children once in 40 pages, and if the MPs actually persist in putting this through, the Online Safety Bill has to be scrapped. How dare the MPs circumnavigate that just so they can watch whatever their leaning might be? It's an absolute disgrace. Nillis, then Sean Murphy.
You remember the quote from one of Mrs. Thatcher's cheap whips, Forsyth, and he said, we enjoy. It's very good for us if people are watching child pornography because then we've got a hold on them. And so, yeah, they wouldn't want that to be exposed because they want to have a hold of the MPs.
No, absolutely. Good call. Sean Murphy.
Well, Keir Starmer probably needs at times of stress, and he must be under quite a lot to watch his twink videos, doesn't he?
Yeah, one of those. And then of course, then again, of course, we wouldn't want you not having access. But the trouble is, of course, then people would be able to see that you like to look at Ukrainian builders, or should we say, Ukrainian male models. Absolute disgrace. Paul Brooker.
Right, my next story. HMRC's finally caught on with AI, and guess what it's being used for?
HMRC not only watch your Instagram stories, but now they're using AI to continuously scan you across all social media platforms. They're looking for something called lifestyle inconsistency, where your posts don't match the income you declared. HMRC confirmed yesterday that they're now using AI to scan your social media for things like luxury holidays, designer purchases, new cars, or properties when your tax return says otherwise. AI spots the red flags, and then a human steps in to decide if they're going to investigate you. They already do this to match what you post to the data they collect on you, from your bank, your employer, and your tax return. And if that doesn't add up, you could be on their radar.
I've got the perfect scenario to this. Just stick, because at the moment, let's face it, the government are in bed left, right, and centre with the genocide that's going on in Gaza. In fact, we're doing flights over the top. So just put, for every single video you do, the backdrop of a ruined Gaza behind you. I'll tell you what, they'll soon stop doing that. Paul Brooker.
I mean, is this not an invasion of privacy?
Yes.
But then you've got to be stupid enough to put your life out there for the whole world to see.
Yes.
And think that you're going to get away with the 4 holidays a year when you're claiming benefits.
Yes.
The brand new car when you're claiming benefits. The brand new car when you don't declare any income. You've got to be some kind of moron. But it's just a heads up to people out there. Stop posting your whole life online unless you want it to come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're doing this, you're putting your life on the line. I mean, as Paul and I, we go on, we come on the internet or whatever, and we produce news stories. But of course, we're there to be shot at. And of course, we are quite often. But by the same token, we know that going in. But Paul and I, our private life is our private life. We present the news, and that's the whole idea. What you'll never see us do is swanning around making videos of bling and fast cars in Dubai and everything else. And of course, I have to say, I'm going to hark back to that young, shall we say, female in Dubai, who of course was putting photos of, shall we say, non-lawyer things online. Mark Breck.
Well, I'm sorry to say, Warren, I don't think you can get your Ferrari parked next to your house, can you?
One of those, mate.
Tree down.
You'd have real trouble. You'd have real trouble, buddy. Let's put it this way: it's not exactly. I haven't exactly got a garage in front of my house. Paul Brooker.
Well, speaking of Ferraris, we're going to jump over to the Czech Republic because Ferrari is.
Yes.
Now, this guy turned into a bit of a folk tale, is the only way to describe it.
Yes.
Now, every so often, this Ferrari Formula One car would appear out of nowhere and go for a drive down the motorway.
Yes.
And I think he'd been doing it since 2019, I want to say.
Yes.
Well, they've actually finally caught him.
Which is illegal, but how cool is that? I'm not being funny. The guy obviously has quite a lot of money, I would think, so he's not going to have trouble paying the fine, let's put it that way. But how cool would that be? I've got to say, I wouldn't be grassing anybody for that. But having said that, how, when you see one of those things, I once climbed in. You do get these days where you can go into a Formula One car, or you can get in certain car where you can go along. And I was lucky enough to go along to one of these Formula One ones where you've got, it's almost like a two-seater, and literally when you, I went in one of those Atoms. You know the Atoms?
Yeah, that's an
Which
amazing
isn't
car.
Formula One. It isn't Formula One, but the acceleration on it is incredible. And it frightened me to death. The guys who drive these things know what they're doing. They really do. And you'd be surprised how unbelievably quicker these things are than a normal road car or a track car that you would see. Mark Breckle.
Well, again, imagine the bloody copper still trying to chase him with an old FSO or the larders, what they used to have in the old Soviet Czech republics there. I was once offered an FSO for 150 quid, and I wouldn't have it because I said, "Oh, it looked horrible, Grandad's car." But the thing is, though, at the time, the tyres were worth more than the car.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was only in my 20s at the time. Probably worth a fortune now.
I've got to say, if you climb in one of those things, you've got to know what you're doing. Sean Murphy and then Lee Williams. Sean.
Well, they didn't catch him in an old paper mache Trabant, did they?
No, I've got to say, probably
So
one of the
I should imagine they had a top of the range BMW, but I very much doubt that would have caught him either if he'd put his foot down.
Let's put it this way, Sean. One of the reasons they probably wanted to nab him so bad is he probably quite a few times. The police have cruised up alongside and he's just gone, okay, I'll just hit the accelerator. Lee Williams.
I was going to ask, was he actually was he insured to drive that on the roads?
Well, I think we're probably
They seized the car.
Oh, they seized the car. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar. I bet you at least one of the. I bet they didn't take it away on a low loader. I bet the bloke got in it and went, "I'll drive this back to the station." Paul.
Right, on to my next story. Well, guess what? The Reform conference is finished, and a doctor has spoke out, and they are panicking over this.
It's highly likely that the COVID vaccines have been a significant factor in the cancer of members of the royal family.
That caused outrage.
Why has it caused outrage? It's probably, I would say it's almost a certainty.
Well, I think he went ad hoc on the speech and didn't follow what he was originally going to talk about.
Yes.
So he used the platform. Yeah, he used the platform to make a big announcement.
I'm going to talk about the fiscal policies in the next 5 years, and then got up and did a speech on how COVID gives you cancer. Nillis.
Yeah, my mum listens to LBC, and they were really panning this doctor. They're saying, he's got no basis for what he's saying and all that sort of thing.
Really?
And I think the same with all the mass media was saying
no basis for that, and yet there's. When you look at the mortality rate of infants has gone up 77% for those that are jabbed. Here's the thing here. I'm trying to, let me just get this absolutely right. Yeah. They want you to have 78 jabs before you're 18 years of age. Really? Why? Yeah, good point though, Nillis. Sean Murphy.
Well, I think if it's the royal family, they're getting cancer from saline.
Yeah, there you go. One of those. Let's see. Thank you very much for that, Paul.
Right, on to my next. Oh, blimmin' TikTok's not playing ball at the moment. Lucy Connolly as well spoke out at the Reform conference, and I feel she needs a bit of airtime.
Yes, absolutely, and a free time.
Yeah.
He was selected to represent our country at the World Junior Championships. Amazing. And about a month ago, she went to the World Junior Championships, and Proud Dad was there taking pictures. All the girls were posing with their national flags, Australia, Germany, America, and Edie, of course, representing our country. And Ray sent to Lucy in prison pictures of their daughter and all the other girls with their national flags. And Lucy got in touch with Ray and said, hang on, there's 5 photos you've sent me that have been censored. Which child with a flag were you not allowed to see, Lucy?
My own. Because she was, I didn't know why at the time, so I rang Ray and I said, oh, these photos you sent me, you know, I assumed that maybe she was in a bikini or something like that, because you can understand why they wouldn't put, you know, let you have those on your wall or whatever. He said, no, they were all Edie just playing golf and the plants in the garden and stuff. And he said, oh, maybe it was because of the flag. I was like, no. Anyway, when I got out of prison and I got my stored prop, there was the photos with Edie draped in the flag with all the different country flags and the other children, but I wasn't allowed it.
That is Orwellian bureaucracy.
It's madness.
That is really nasty.
So,
you can't even see a photo of your own kid representing her country holding her national flag.
No, apparently not.
That's a disgrace.
What are you doing? It is the national flag. This is a person representing the flag of that country, and you're not allowed to view a photo of the person who is representing the flag of that country wearing that flag. Are you completely stupid, or are you completely bought? It's an absolute disgrace. And the people who censored those photographs, whoever they are, they should be found and they should be booted out of office. Because what you're actually doing here is you're actually stopping people from supporting a person who is representing that country under the national flag. They're not making any racist statement here. They're representing their country at an international level. What are they supposed to want? A flag of Pakistan? What? Mark Breckle.
Well, again, you know, I said about the flags. It's the Flag Day, 13th and 14th. There's a popular blogger I was speaking to, and the Russians cannot believe that we are taking our flags. There's people taking our flag. The Russians said, we wouldn't dare touch our flag. We're so proud of it. Yeah. And he asked all these people in fluent Russian, how would you feel? And he asked every single one of them, and they could not believe what was happening in this country.
No, absolutely.
It's not right, Warren. You should be able to do what you want in your own country. Surely.
No, it's an absolute disgrace. If you wish to wear the flag of your own country as proudly as you do, and the more that people do this, and we all know who are doing this, very, very simply, I would urge everybody out there that when you go out, literally go out with a Union Jack on, or go out with a flag on, or go out with a lapel on with your Union Jack on. And if anybody complains about it, tell them to get stuffed. You are proudly displaying the flag of the country that you belong to. Paul, this is a disgrace.
Do you know what? It terrifies me, Warren, that they are censoring everything at all levels. I would get it if it was a sign saying, don't worry, Rodney, I'll break you out in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the flag got to do when it's her own daughter? She's British. She never said she might take offence by it because the photo was for her from her family. This is a very dark Orwellian country we are living in right now. And I'm sure... Go on.
She is performing under the flag of that country. That's the whole idea. Unbelievable. Go on, Paul.
And do you know what? There must be a department of propaganda. And I mean a secret government department whose sole purpose is it to censor all of this and filter out instructions. I'm sorry, but no one stepped forward and said it's my idea, which turns around and says this is a secret department because no MPs turned around and said it was my idea. No Prime Ministers turned around and said it's my idea. So this is a department that is operating under the radar in secrecy.
Yes. So this is either 77 Brigade, as Mark Newman's just put there. It's either 77 Battalion doing this, or this is the prison service. So who in the prison service has turned around and said that this can't happen? Nillis, then Mark Breckle, and then another story. Nillis.
Well, all these government organisations, they all go on seminars about what to do and how to behave. Yes. And we can see it all the time. The police are taking down the flags from flag
Yes.
From flagpoles and light posts. That girl was banned from school because she was wearing Union Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Good call. Yes, very quickly, Ned.
I know they apologised, but I don't think anybody think it happened to that teacher who did that.
They don't mean it.
But
A teacher should have been fired for that. Should have been fired. Simple as that. Because it's not your job to turn around and say what a person can and cannot wear. The flag is not offensive. It's the flag of that country. Mark Breck.
Well, again, if you watch all the protesters, it's Palestine flag, LGB flag, you name it. There's every single flag. But when you put a British flag up, they're all in arms against.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's not right.
British flag has never hurt anybody, unlike some flags, I could say. Louis Bastos.
Good evening, good morning. One thing I'd like to understand is why Israel and Ukraine are playing in the World Cup qualifiers and Belarus, but not Russia.
Yeah, exactly that. We did make that point yesterday. We showed literally that Israel were taking part in a World Cup qualifier, and yet people can fly the Israel flag whilst there's a genocide going on, while there are people in Palestine, in Gaza, that are being butchered. There is no ban whatsoever on flying the Israel flag. Paul Brooker.
Right, my next one. And we've got to talk about a religion that we all know. I'm a bit worried that written into their religion, they're allowed to lie.
Yes.
What is the draw of Islam to the West? Why is the West kind of floating over to it?
Yeah.
What is the appeal?
Are Muslims allowed to lie for the sake of spreading Islam? They're coming here and they're saying, yeah, we love you guys, we back you guys, but the moment they are the majority, they will turn and Sharia law will take over. And if Sharia law takes over, women will be beaten. If Sharia law takes over, homosexuals will be chucked off buildings. If Sharia law takes over, pastors will be killed, women will be raped, children will be turned into Muslims, and churches will be bought and turned into mosques, which is what's happening in London. So I think what they're doing now in America is they're practicing taqiyya, where they're lying to your face until you let them in. And once you let them in, they'll take over.
Tells you everything you need to know, really, doesn't it? Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know? Not a religion of peace or harmony.
No. And when you hear him saying gay people being thrown off buildings, that's no joke. They did that in Syria. The moment they found a gay person, they were thrown off a building. And just go search the internet, you'll see it. It's harrowing. It's absolutely disgusting. And they're allowed to lie in their religion. This is like a one-stop shop religion, isn't it, for everyone who wants to...
Oh, yes. Well, it's a totalitarian thing, Paul, because this is the thing where all the others don't really match up, is that whether it be your finances, whether it be your life, the Islamic, the Book of Islam, literally the Quran and this religion is totalitarian. It has an answer for everything, for finances, for absolutely everything. We're almost getting to the point of the halfway point in the show. Mark Breckle, then Lee Williams, very quickly.
Well, again, if you when they start spouting the Quran off, you tell them, oh, by the way, that certain guy had a wife that was only 6 years old. They don't like that, do they?
One of those. Thanks very much for that. Lee Williams.
Is there anything to do with a group called the Fabian Limited?
Well, we know that Starmer's a Fabian without a shadow of a doubt. If you've enjoyed the first hour of the show, thank you very much indeed for watching. It is time for you to leave us. Now, we have lots of these discussions, and there is a lot more we can show you, but we can only show you behind a paywall. It is the price of a coffee. Come and see us at warrenthornton.com for the rest of the show, and probably a longer time on air as well. But for the time being, thanks for watching.